Change rarely announces itself politely. It arrives through restructuring, new leadership, market pressure, or shifting expectations. And in those moments, fear and uncertainty test leaders the most. Today, we'll explore how courage and adaptability become learnable skills that steady teams and strengthen leadership presence. Welcome to Coaching Talks, folks. I'm Richard Fontanie, and this is where we focus on practical leadership growth for real workplace challenges. Today's conversation centers on managing fear and uncertainty by cultivating courage and adaptability in shifting environments. Leaders are often expected to appear confident, even when answers are unclear. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Courage and adaptability help leaders respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally, creating stability for teams while navigating constant change. Now, before we go any further, take a moment to subscribe to Coaching Talks. Subscribing ensures you receive weekly leadership insights that build confidence, clarity, and effectiveness at work. It also helps others discover practical learning for today's workplace environment. Now, let's take a look at 5 leadership strategies to strengthen courage as we navigate change. The first leadership strategy is to show courage with clarity. Now, courage in leadership does not come from knowing everything. It comes from clarity about direction and values. When leaders define priorities clearly, fear loses its grip. Teams may accept uncertainty, but they struggle with confusion. Clarifying what matters most, what remains stable, and what is still evolving provides psychological safety for them. Leaders who communicate clearly reduce speculation and anxiety. And this form of courage involves honest conversations, realistic expectations, and transparent decision making. It does not require certainty about outcomes, only a commitment to purpose. Clarity allows leaders to move forward decisively while acknowledging what they do not yet know. The second leadership strategy is adaptability as a leadership muscle. Now, adaptability is not an innate trait. It's a muscle strengthened through use. And it's no different from going to the gym to lift weights. Your biceps grow stronger, and so does the adaptability muscle when you use it. Effective leaders remain curious rather than defensive. They seek feedback, observe patterns, and adjust strategies without abandoning core values. Fear often drives leaders to cling to familiar methods, even when those methods no longer serve the organization. Adaptable leaders experiment thoughtfully, learning from results rather than learning from mistakes. Now, this approach models resilience for teams. When adaptability is normalized, change becomes manageable rather than disruptive. Leaders who practice adaptability foster innovation, responsiveness, and continuous improvement across the workplace. The third leadership strategy is all about decision making during times of uncertainty. Uncertainty challenges decision making because it removes guarantees. Effective leaders don't wait for perfect information, and because of that often delays progress. Courageous leaders make informed decisions based on available data while remaining open to adjustments. They communicate the reasoning behind their choices, helping teams understand the process even as outcomes shift. Fear-driven decisions are reactive and short-sighted, but intentional decisions consider impact, timing, and alignment with long-term goals. Leaders who decide with integrity build trust, even when circumstances change unexpectedly. The fourth leadership strategy relates to emotional intelligence and fear awareness. Fear shapes behavior whether we like it or not. Emotionally intelligent leaders recognize fear in themselves and others without judgment. They listen actively, validate concerns, and respond with empathy. Now, this does not mean avoiding accountability. It means addressing the emotional undercurrents that affect performance. And one of the undercurrents is leadership stress. When leaders manage their own stress effectively, they create space for productive dialogue. This personal awareness turns fear from a disruptive force into a signal to communicate support for others. In the end, emotional intelligence strengthens adaptability by improving relationships during difficult times. And the fifth strategy is to model confidence and trust. Teams watch leaders closely during periods of uncertainty. Leaders who model calm confidence create emotional stability. And this confidence is not arrogance. It reflects trust in people and processes and a shared purpose. Now, modeling confidence means consistent behavior, thoughtful communication, and follow-through. When leaders demonstrate trust, teams are more willing to adapt and engage. Fear diminishes when people believe leadership is steady, fair, and aligned with shared values. Now, here are 3 workplace leadership stories that come to grips with what we are talking about. Consider a department facing restructuring. One leader withheld information, increasing stress and anxiety among his employees. Another leader communicated openly in team meetings and through newsletters about what was known and unknown, maintaining trust with employees. In another organization, an executive manager encouraged experimentation during process changes, reducing fear of failure. A third leader acknowledged personal uncertainty while reaffirming team strengths. Each example shows how courage and adaptability shape outcomes. Leadership behavior directly influences how teams experience uncertainty. So, what can you do about all of this? Well, here's a 3-step action plan that you can implement this week. Number 1, choose one leadership behavior to strengthen courage and adaptability. Number 2, clarify a priority, invite feedback, or communicate transparently about the change taking place. Number 3, observe how fear shows up in your leadership responses and choose intention over reaction. Courage is built through consistent practice, not dramatic gestures. Small actions compound into resilient leadership, and your willingness to lead with clarity and adaptability creates stability that others rely on. Now, thank you for listening and subscribing to this channel. I'm Richard Fontanie, and I'll see you next week when we discuss how leaders cultivate patience and presence in the workplace. See you then. Bye now.